Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Aurora LP18. I've continued playing for quite some time, about more than a year actually, but essentially nothing happened. What did happen that we built the gate and returned to Earth for refit and overhauls with our fleet in Osnabrück, or Duisburg to be more precise. We searched Osnabrück but found no traces of the precursors except a small, most likely listening station at the fourth planet, the 11th moon of it actually. I will assign medals to my brave troops or commanders which scored the kills on those precursor ships, but I'll go into this later. We started crash building the Bismarcks, our new armored sensor ships essentially, coupled with a decent PD. Coupled with decent PD. And since I'm at the screen, I want to show you something here, essentially what to do with those buttons. Range bands are fairly easy. Everything you see down here, the to hit percentages, are based on, at the moment, 10,000 kilometer range bands. So the fire control here has a chance to hit targets, in this case most likely missiles, at a range of 10,000 and a speed of 10,000 of 84%. And our Gauss cannons will do damage at 10 and 20,000 kilometers of 1. 0 at 30, because they just have a range of 20. Why this screen is fairly nice is because it enables you to calculate your to-hit chances without having to use any pocket calculator or something similar for different enemies. In this case, invader missiles should have a speed of around 65k. And now, without any further calculations needed, I know that my fire control, and this is important, just the fire control, not necessarily the weapon. The fire control has a chance of 20% to successfully track a missile moving at 65k. So this means we have a decent chance to actually hit it's a little bit exaggerated, but we have a chance to hit invader missiles. And with our Gauss turrets shooting 36 times each tick, it means at 20% we are roughly able to hit 7 missiles from each Bismarck class. And this is not such a bad rate actually, especially considering that we not only have the Bismarcks but the Blüchers as well, with their 24 shots each 5 seconds. So overall, depending on the fleet composition, we should be able to destroy about 40 invader missiles at the moment, with half of our fleet, which is what is roughly guarding the Hamburg jump gate at any moment, at least for now. I'm still a tad mystified why we have not seen any invaders yet, but on the other hand, there are 3 jump points with jump gates here in Hamburg, and I assume that they didn't enter Seoul, but moved to one of the other points, except for the small scout craft we saw earlier, which we know entered Seoul. I have no idea why they have not made an appearance in Seoul now. I'm sure that some invader ships must have spawned by now, but to be honest, I don't feel that unhappy about it, because 40 invader missiles is about what one of their larger ships is able to fire at us, so it would be a standoff against one of those ships, but if there are two of them, we would be dead meat floating in space here, so I'm not too sad that they haven't made an appearance yet. What else did I do? Yeah, crash building the Bismarcks, and in addition to being able to use regular construction when building orbital habitats, you can do some other things which with your regular construction, in this case the fighter factories, you can build fighters and then simply scrap them for their main components. In this case, where do we have it? Engines and the sensors. So this means I don't have to pre-build those components in the normal factories, but essentially by scrapping the fighters, those parts are moved to the stockpile. As you can see here, I still have some from the older batch of sensor fighters, and those can be used by the capital ships, which is quite nice because it gives us another way to speed up construction of our capital ships. And since the Bismarcks are using those sensors, I don't have to bother building those with our regular capacity or by the shipyards. Due to this, the first Bismarcks have been built fairly quickly and are currently training here. Oh, and since the last tick, 3 of our Sturmvogels have completed their training, which is nice. So let's move those back to Earth. Task groups, PDC, assign. In addition, we have completed pre-constructing and setting up PDCs, smaller PDCs on Hanover and Munich, and should no longer get any complaints about lacking protection from them. And as you can see here, the civilian colony ships have been fairly busy constructing or setting up additional colonies on Munich, which is getting on my nerves, to be honest, because I keep to have abandoning them and putting those colonists from the abandoned colonies onto Munich, on the main Munich colony via SM. At the moment we have more than enough additional workers, so I will deal about this between recordings, I think, because it's boring. Just to show it quickly, it's simply abandon this colony. Yes, everything will be lost. Nice. Then use the SM, go up here to Munich and add 0.2 to the population. Save, that's it. But it's not a lot of fun. So we'll skip this for now. What else did we do? Ah yeah, a second shipping line appeared. Fassbinder Corporation, which is still small, but take a look at our original shipping line. 74 ships, 3.2 million tons of capacity. They still have wells. They have a great income, paid a nice dividend. I still have no idea if we get anything of this dividend, but what they did is provide a nice chunk of money for us due to the taxes we get from them. That's very nice, and we are far away from anything even remotely approaching wealth problems here at the moment. What is annoying me, except the slowdown, which is following the large number of ships here, is that they are still moving colonists to Munich, despite me having told them that Munich should be stable. I'm afraid it has something to do with them not recognizing my main colony here, since they are setting up additional colonies, and each counts as a destination for colonists, and this will continue even if I delete all the additional colonies here. I'm not sure when I did this last time, but there was just this colony, but the civilian shipping lines happily kept setting up those anyway. But that's no game breaker, it's just annoying. We got a couple of new techs here, the most important one being engine power 2.0. And with the new engine power we built a new fighter and FAC engine and a new missile engine for our anti-missile missiles, and are currently building a new engine for our anti-ship missiles, which should be completed fairly soon, which is nice as well. Okay, what did we do with this tech? We upgraded or are upgrading our fighter bombers, which will now have a speed of 9,600. Still not enough to catch an invader ship, but we are getting there. And with our new missile we should get slightly better speed, and I'll try to aim for a range of about the range of our fire controls here. And since I got new warhead technology as well, we will retain the damage here due to 9 being a square number, and most likely should be able to add some agility to our missiles to improve our to-hit chances. In addition, let's go to the Sturmvogel now. We got new laser range, and I put in a new spinal laser onto the Sturmvogel here. There is a discrepancy between the possible tracking speed and the actual tracking speed I'm using, but since the fire control has already a size of 3, and I want to use the Sturmvogel mainly against capital ships, I'm still fine with a tracking speed of 6,000 and prefer to bring the range up to the maximum range to have better chances to it. Actually, we're even able to hit objects moving at 65k, so in theory even the Sturmvogel would be able to shoot at invader missiles with a 8% chance to hit. Despite it here showing 1000, it's still using the 65 we've put in here, As you can see, if we go to 10,000, we get 57% chance to hit. But what is important here, and here we get back to the range bands, we are able to track targets up to 250,000 kilometers, and our lasers are able to hit at those distances with a damage of 2 as well, but we will most likely not be able to hit. But we have way better chances to hit 50% here at 50k range with a damage of 12 than with the higher speed fire control but a lower range. At least against capital and fairly slow moving ships here. I thought about constructing a new point defense fighter. We had one already earlier, but I did not really build many of them, just 2. We used 67% Gauss cannon there, so it's size 4. This one here is a 50%, size 3.1, but due to the lower size we get a lower accuracy modifier here. We are unable to hit at 50k, so let's go back to 10k here. And if we check how our chances to hit with this Gauss for the invader missiles is, it's 16% for the fire control. And since our Gauss cannon has only a basic to hit chance of 50%, it means we are not looking at 16% but at 8%. And in addition, the to hit chance here is calculated based on the fire control speed of 16k, but this ship would only be able to move at 12k. Due to it, the Gauss cannon tracking speed is only 12k as well, so we will not even be getting 8% here, but about 6 if I recall correctly. Another option would be using the larger Gauss cannon, again the 67% one or size 4.1. Our ship speed went down due to needing 50 additional tons, and our to hit speed to hit for the fire control stays the same naturally, since it's based on the 16k here. But if we do a quick calculation, this is the accuracy modifier for the size 4 Gauss, this for the size 3, the speed of our fighter, the tracking speed of our fire control, the to hit chances based on the tracking speed. But if we do a quick calculation, accuracy modifier times the speed divided by the tracking speed, so we get the modified to hit chance, since we are moving slower than the fire control indicates, and multiply this by the 18%. Why is it 16 here? I think I used 60k earlier. Let's take a look. Yeah, I used 60k earlier, but it doesn't matter for the example here. And multiply this by the base to hit chance of our fire control for objects moving at 60k in this case. We'll get an overall chance for the larger Gauss cannon of 8% versus 7% for the smaller Gauss cannon. So the higher speed we are getting here from the smaller Gauss cannon will not be enough to provide an advantage here in actual to hit chances. The chances are lower. So I tend to go for the larger Gauss cannon in this case, if I will build this ship at all, or this fighter at all. We'll have to see. But I wanted to show you this because it's fairly important to really understand what this screen tries to tell you, and not only to look at this to hit chance. As soon as there's a discrepancy between the actual ship speed or the weapon tracking speed and the fire control speed, in addition to potential accuracy modifiers, you have to do some calculations to reach a conclusion about which is actually better. Okay, let's keep this one as background. Maybe I'll need to do other calculations here. So that's that. Let's take a look at creating medals. I've already written down which commanders had achieved those kills versus the precursors. It's our 35th Korvettenkapitän, August Funkel. He managed to destroy one of the precursors, and the other one was our 67th Korvettenkapitän, that's Thomas von Möhring, and he actually managed to destroy two of them. So let's get those guys some medals. And in order to be able to award a medal, we first have to create a medal. We want a new medal. Aurora comes with a couple of JPEGs. Yeah, they are JPEGs from different kinds of medals, and you can simply choose one of them. What can we use here? When Eisernes Kreuz would be an option, Iron Cross, but I prefer something a tad smaller. Yeah, let's use this one. Looks nicely martial. Let's call it First Blood. Not really German, but it shows what has happened. Awarded. Shot down an enemy ship. We can assign a promotion value to our medal, which essentially will be added to the promotion score of our commander. So let's assign a value of, he has 400, he made a kill, let's say 150 here. Then you save the medal, it shows up here. You can add additional medals, but for now it should just be a demonstration how to create a medal and how to use them. As you see, there are still no medals in here. You have to close the screen and open it again for it to refresh. Then we'll get back to our commander. Yeah, there he is. And now under award medal you see we have our medal here. Currently he has a promotion score of 438, and when we make this award it shows up here, and the promotion score was raised by the score of the medal. What this means is when the program checks for promotions, it will sort the commanders based on their promotion score, and the commander with the highest promotion score will get promoted. I'm not exactly sure if the seniority plays any role here, to be honest. There were, but where was it? There was a way to see promotion routes. Yeah. When being considered for ability, promoted first. Okay, so promotion points are the key here. And down here you can see how the commanders are gaining promotion scores. It's important how long it has been since the commander has been promoted, if he has a command. As you can see here, the promotion points for medals are added. They get some points based on their various skills. Crew training is fairly important. Fleet movement initiative is another important score. So promotions are based on those points. And I think each year, it doesn't say here, but I think, no, to be honest, I don't know how often promotion checks are made. I might have to look this up in the wiki later on. But overall it's not that important. In addition to using medals to promote somebody, you are able to demote them in a way. You can assign negative promotion values, which can help with getting completely undesirable commanders from achieving higher ranks. But at the moment I will not use it. Okay, that's that. And with this, let's continue for now. Since I just see it here, we've built another naval complex on Earth. So this brings us up to 5 naval complexes. I have expanded the capacity of our main naval yards here and have started to add capacity to one of our small naval yards currently used for the FACs. But I want to have the option to use this yard in order to build some corvettes later on, which will be laser based without turrets, so kind of gunboats, if you want to tell them or call them that. And we are currently retooling for our newer engined FACs. Okay, let's continue a little bit, at least till we reach the next technology, our new missile engines. And as you can see here, it's very slow. Oh, okay, it looks like our PDC has no hangar space left. Is this true? Oh, it's at minus. That's interesting. How did I manage to do this? I have no idea, to be honest. But somehow we did it. They are trained up. Are they refitted as well? Yes, they are refitted. So let's move those fighter bombers to one of our carriers. We will soon have to make a change of guard here for our fleet guarding the jump gate. Yeah, the maintenance clock is starting to get high. The crew has been in orbit for close to 2 years now. So we have to do something about this soon. The Deutschland has upgraded fighters, fully trained fighter bombers, I think, yes. So let's move those 3 Eagles from our PDC to the Deutschland. Split task group, refuel them. Earth, refuel, task group, Deutschland, land and assign. And now our heavy fighters should be able to land. Now we can refuel them as well. Refuel, task group, PDC, land and assign. Okay. As I mentioned, what I want to do here is, it worked, each of our carrier task forces, and I'm reducing them to 2 at the moment to have some additional firepower, and more importantly some additional point defense if the invaders show up. Want to provide each of them with 2 Bismarcks in order to have a backup censorship, because at the moment the Bismarcks are our only ships with longer range sensors. Sorry. And if one of them gets taken out, our fleet is essentially blind. So I want 1 backup, despite the fairly good armor of 10 of the Bismarcks. But against precursor missiles, 10 armor will be enough to prevent a direct penetration, but it will not be enough to prevent shock damage, and due to it, potential damage to major system, despite the armor still being intact or still holding up. Which is another reason why I am building the sensor fighters here, to get some additional sensors for building. Oh, I'm seeing that I haven't used the construction here. For building the new Bismarcks as quickly as possible. Still processing the turn, but should end at the 25th anyway. And the engines from those fighter sensor ships will be used for refitting our Eagles, our fighter bombers, and our heavy bombers, since they are using the fighter engines, but just 2 of them. New to contract, okay, but it should still stop at the 25th, because we should have completed our research by then. Another thing we can take a look at in the meantime, which is slow to open due to the processing here. We have surveyed Osnabrück, both geo-surveys, the 100% here, and graph surveys. Due to the graph surveys finished, there's no red ring about the system. Here we have completed surveying, but have not completed graph surveys. And we found 2 additional jump points in Osnabrück, leading back to Essen and Bremen, which has me kind of worried due to the wormhole. So I would not rule out the invaders potentially showing up in Osnabrück. So have we completed now? Yeah, here we go. Our new missile engine has been completed, but before I forget it again, let's pre-build some Gauss cannons, Gauss turrets and engines. I think the Bismarck need 8 engines each. Ah, wrong one. Oh, we can use this one. 3 turrets, 8 engines, exactly. So we would need 6 turrets and 16 engines. We don't have to care about the sensors, as I mentioned. So let's do this. Ship components, 8 here, 10% for now. And our Gauss turrets, I only put in 8. I have to modify this to 16. And let's take a look how long it will take to build those. October 40 and November 40. When will our current batch of Bismarcks be completed? July 41. So we have lots of time. I'll even take away some of those factories. 6. May 41. Yeah, still looking good. 5. September, that's a tad long, so 6 should be fine here. And most likely 6 should work for the engines as well. March, maybe we can go down to 5 here. June, yeah, looking good. So what to do with the 9 leftover construction? We will need additional mines. We will need, but not immediately, additional maintenance facilities. So let's add to the automated mines here. Because our duranium stockpile is not looking good. We are using more duranium than we are producing. And the accessibility is below 1 now. So we will produce less and less over time. So duranium will be a problem. Luckily, we do have 60% accessibility, but lots of duranium on Mars. So I will move some mines to Mars. We have the workers to use them. So let's order the civilians. We don't need the money, at least not really at the moment, to move some mines. Not automated mines, but regular mines. Demand 50 mines. And Earth will provide those 50 mines. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to our missile. First of all, we have to continue researching missiles. Missile agility. Maybe I want to wait for the missile agility to finish before building this missile. Yeah, this looks good. It's soon enough, so let's do this. In addition, we finally got a defense specialist and moved 2 labs to, or we found them, I think. But we moved? I'm not sure actually what I did do, but we have 2 research labs on Munich and are using those to research new armor. I want to move additional, and I put in this order here. It did at least 1 additional research lab to Munich, since getting better armor is important. Add contracts and supply it from Earth as well. So our civilian shipping lines will start on those orders here. Instead of moving tons of infrastructure to Hanover, which is not used anyway, because the colonists are moved to Munich, they will do something useful for a change. Okay, so no missile construction for now, and I think I'll pause till we get the additional agility. Okay, our research has been completed. I added another research project for improved warheads here for our missiles, but not at a very high priority. I still want to play mainly a beam-based ship, but with the invaders at our door, missiles play more heavily into my plans now than I originally wanted to. But let's get back to constructing our missile. Sirius is anti-ship missile. Let's take a look at our previous design. This one. Now, since we got new warhead technology, we can go down to 1.8 for 9 damage value warhead. In addition, we have our new engine. There are quite a couple of programs or apps around to help you with constructing missiles. I think I already had shown one earlier, but this time I picked a web-based program here. Essentially, you put down your tech level on this part, so we are have a damage of 5 for each MSP and agility of 48. We are using ion tech engines. Our fuel consumption is 0.8, and we are using a max engine modifier. I'm not interested in the min one here for our engines. We want to construct a size 6 missile with a damage of 9. Enemy target speed, yeah, not nice to have, but not really important. Let's even put this one down a bit more and see if anything changes down here. And we want to have a range of about our current missile fire controls, maybe a tad lower. So let's save a bit on fuel here and go down to 56. Should be 56 actually. So let's take a look what the program is offering us. And overall it's offering us fairly low speed. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I prefer high-speed missiles due to them being harder to hit for the enemy's point defense or anti-missile missiles. So I will stick actually with the size 3.6 engine I've already produced. But what is nice to see, nice to know is how many points in agility I will need to make a difference. And let's go back to PowerPoint, Excel here. As you can see, I simply put in the numbers shown here, which should be ideal agility points. Added quite a couple of them and have seen that the difference between each of those agility levels is 0.125. So I'm able to calculate agility cutoff points for lower agilities. So in this case 0.81, 0.68 and so on. So I will be able to use those values for my faster missile, which simply doesn't have enough space left for the suggested agility numbers here. But I don't have to use too much try and error here. In addition, I know how much fuel I want to use. In this case, somewhere around 0.37. So let's put in those informations. 0.7 and agility, I've already forgotten it. We don't have much space left for agility actually here. So let's see how low it will go. Around 19 should be one cutoff point and the next one at 31. Let's take a look if that's true. 19 would give us a maneuver rating of 12. 31, we are over size 6 now, so we'll need a tad more, but 32 should yield 13 exactly, so the calculations are right. And now I have to make up my mind if I'm satisfied with the lower range. And due to us using a larger engine, we have actually better fuel efficiency, so I can skip on some fuel here and use the 3126 agility value to 6 and reduce the fuel accordingly. To 874. Yeah, still maneuver rating of 13. So the range at 54. Yeah, that's completely fine here at the moment. So we will go with this one. And as you can see here, the value is 15, so we might even be able to get a tad lower. Yeah, and add one fuel. Might not be enough, since the fuel might bring it down to 12 again. Let's try. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's fine. So let's rename this one. We have selected the correct series. Anti-ship missile, 9 damage, speed of 228, range of 539, and the to-hit probability versus 10k of 346. Create 400 points, so no instancing this one. We have to research it. Let's free up some lab space. And stop the research into up there. Cancel, yeah. Research our new missile. Create 8th of March. Either I'll need a tad more or a tad less in order to fit it into the 5-day construction cycle. Let's take away a couple of laps. 9th of March, 10th of, 12th of. 13th, no, not really. 10th, yeah, 10th of March should be fine. Let's add those points to our beam fire control rating. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.